following up on the intro to foundational design, we do a bunch of boxes, is learning how to freehand drawing boxes and shapes in space. Yeah, where now you can kind of move them on your own, and then you can freestyle drawing different boxes and shapes. Things like wheels of shapes, and all of these are planes, they're faces, and depending on the angle, like the faces that aren't moving into space as drastically are more flat versus ones that are more dramatically moving into the distance, and instantly you get a read on what is closer towards us, what is moving into the distance, and you can start to read that space. And you can articulate that space through your drawings. Like if something is a lot smaller, you know that it's, you know, moving into the distance and is representing the same amount of space, that to that, to that, to that, to that, right? And then through foreshortening, as like, even though these are the same angle, it's moving further into the distance, everything is getting smaller. And you can draw things like walkways, things like a camera angle, and it's creating a walkway. This figure is walking through with a torch, illuminating some of the surroundings. The wheels are pretty fun, and things like whole like cartoon landscapes moving into the distance. Yeah, there's things you can do to create like spheres, and just freestyling some shapes is really fun and good exercise. It's how I started to just like would start drawing for a day. It's to start creating some shapes, and then within those shapes you can start to create any kind of objects, and the more objects that you learn, then you try to draw them from different angles, and you get a lot more mileage out of the time that you spend. You get a lot more EXP and EXP gains if you draw a dragon, and then you're like, okay, now I can draw a dragon, and you know the proportions of a dragon, then try to draw it from different angles. You know, if you're thinking it's got 1 foot there, 1 foot there, 1 foot there, 1 foot there, yeah, and then its body's going to be like here, its head there, yeah, it's going to have like a wingspan and back leg to like some kind of a tail going on, yeah, and then you have like a space for your dragon, and you can know what's correct or incorrect within that space pretty quickly. And it's really cool. You just can't wear out this exercise. And everything that you do, then the exercises that you'll get from like Ahmed Aldori and Feng Zhu go a lot further. It opened the door to a lot of stuff that I was taking for a long time. And we'll just try to, you know, freestyle some shapes here. Just the thing to do. And it doesn't have to be 100% accurate or clean, but just to get an idea of the 3-point perspective that you're using, draw really lightly. When you draw the transparent lines, you can double back and make it like harder, sharper. And drawing little RPG landscapes with like a battle with characters and monsters is fun. You can even draw little pieces of scenery around them as well. And then like this is turning as it's moving up, yeah, and back, that, over, yeah. I think it's moving further away. It's going into the distance. and rotating a little bit maybe. And you can see, like, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Bam. And you start to create like this little landscape, this all of this space with these different moving sides and planes. Didn't do that good of a job on this, but this is like how you start to do this freehand, right? You've got a grid, you've got a guide, and you can start to recognize different shapes and how like turned into the distance it is versus how flat it is. And once you get an eye for that, then you can kind of just work with that, work by intuition. These are like more and more flat and into the distance. And this is going to be like almost completely flat. This super hard. Yeah, like that. Just nice. And that's a really good exercise for learning space. And then, you know, you can go in and draw figures on top of or inside of your boxes. And to create a couple of boxes and like a loose framework when you reference something, and then start to try and reference it in different angles. And once I learned how to draw boxes was like when I got that angle study and really started kicking ass at it, where instead of it just being like, I imagine it would be like this, I was like, okay, if these are the proportions from that angle, then you change the angle, the proportions would also change in a similar way to this box drawing exercise, where, you know, if it was there, then it's there, then it's there. Yeah, if there's like a figure standing here, you know, there's going to be a little bit more of their head. Their legs are going to be like there. And then from here, it's going to be like more of their head and shoulders, but they'd still curve forward. Yeah, to like almost all of their head. Just a little bit. Yeah. So as the space rotates, so too do the figures in that space. And as you figure this stuff out, it's like small dragon. Just a placeholder even for a small dragon, but you have to get that placeholder right, you know? It's like to have where are the sides and the front, and what are the boxes that the whole dragon is going to fit inside. And if you get a dragon shaped like series of boxes and it's correct, then, you know, you can always detail that dragon in and learn all of the anatomy and, you know, like the scales and the muscles and where everything's supposed to be. Right? And that is the next exercise, I suppose. Once you've done boxes, it's how to freehand boxes and how to draw objects inside of them, and just start making these little like areas and how they move. And it's so good. It's such good practice. And you can do something like rotations. Yeah, rotations are good. Yeah, just get a handle for it. And y'all be moving, you know? Super good. All right, have fun with designing things, be learning things, and then, you know, once you learn how to draw and build things, like bring your dreams to life. Start drawing things that you love, start drawing things that excite you. When you bring that passion, that excitement, that love into the design space, into the process, then I feel like it's a current of excitement. It's an energy that you can use towards learning more about design. And that is always good. The world needs more love, and that includes the world of design, maybe more than anything. And the world needs your unique personality and what you have to bring to the table. That's, different than what anyone else will. So go on and draw your dreams to life.